Promoting beautiful federal civic architecture. January 20, 2025. Memorandum for the Administration of General Services. Subject, promoting beautiful federal civic architecture. I hereby direct the administrator of the General Services Administration in consultation with the Assistant to the President for Domestic Policy and the heads of departments and agencies of the United States where necessary to submit to me within 60 days recommendations to advance the policy that federal public buildings should be visually identifiable as civic buildings and respect regional, traditional, and classical architectural heritage in order to uplift and beautify public spaces and what the hell's that word? Ennoble? Should that be enable? And ennoble the United States in our system of self-government. Such recommendations shall consider appropriate revisions to the guiding principles for federal architecture and procedures for incorporating community input into federal buildings design selections. If before such recommendations are submitted, the Administrator of General Services Administration proposes to approve a design for a new federal public building that diverges from the policy set forth in this memorandum, the administrator shall notify me through the Assistant to the President for Domestic Policy, not less than 30 days before the General Services. So you get the point. So buildings not been like something to brag about lately. Like, we have, let me pull up a picture of just civic buildings in DC. So let's look at examples of nice buildings and not nice buildings. I mean, obviously, Capitol Hill, that's an example of a nice civic building, like something that looks like it's, you do important shit in there, right? And then I heard Glenn Beck mention what the hell was it? The former FBI director, not Hoover, original FBI director. Yeah, J. Edgar Hoover. Hoover building. Yeah, so look at that. So that's what we're talking about. That's an ugly building. And then this is a beautiful building. So we don't get stuff like that anymore. There's two schools of thought. There's a school of thought that says we just have less talented architects, that we're not prioritizing things like architecture and engineering anymore, and we're not building things with civic pride. And then there's another school of thought that this is an intentional thing that's being done to make things feel less special and erode national pride. Because let's see, Soviet Union buildings. Perfect example. So this is what shit looks like in a depressing communist country, where everything looks the same. There's nothing special and significant about things. Let's see. What was the Stalin government building? Palace of the Soviets. Stalin's architect by Dion Shijer Review. So yeah, I mean, it's not something that a lot of people think about, but the way you build things and the way that things look, it's it's what is it? I was listening to Glenn Beck before, and he said that Thomas Jefferson said that if you want your culture and your values and things to live beyond you, if you want your country to have long-lasting values and culture and things that you care about, and be prideful of your country, you have to build things that you're proud of. Let's see, Washington, DC. Best buildings. Or, I should say most beautiful buildings. DC's top 10 must-see sites for architecture lovers. Okay. Boom. National Museum of African American History. Shut up. I don't even know. Are these good examples? Why is it showing up? Okay, yeah. Lincoln Memorial. There you go. Library of Congress. There you go. Why is it showing all shit from the inside? It put Department of Housing and Urban Development. This is an ugly ass building. All right. Not a good source. 0 for 1. All right. Yeah. Union Station. I'll give that a pass. You waving at me? What's up? You want to get in here or what? I'm in the middle of architecture. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, what's like stands out to you as like a sick building that you're actually have like that you're actually proud of that we have as a country? Where's this thing? All right, so we got Union Station. I guess, yeah. So we haven't built cool shit in a while. Like, yeah, Washington Monument, Jefferson Memorial, yeah. But like the stuff we built today, like looks exactly the same, and it doesn't need to be that way. So this is one like the maybe top 10 or 20 things I'm excited about. Now I didn't even hear about it before today, but like this is a big deal. This is like stuff that's gonna like carry us forward and like be something that people who are born 100 years now born 100 years from now in America are proud about. So super underrated thing, but like it shows you like how much time Trump spent thinking about what's important. Let's see. I have something here, I think. No, not yet. I don't know. What do you guys think about this one? Like, do you think this is a big deal or this is like not even a top 20 thing? Because I'm not gonna lie, this is something I wasn't even thinking about at all until I heard about it today. Let's see. What are you guys saying? I know, Humberto. Those are leftist buildings. They try to make everything look the same. If you want to talk, get in here.
Microphone on?
Yes.
All right.
Chat. Let me know if you can hear Humberto.
Hello?
Hello?
Can Chad hear me?
Let's see.
All right, Brandon.
Do mic check.
Hello, hello.
Nope. Nobody can hear you.
Hello, hello. Is it on red or is it I can hear myself. Maybe you have the wrong audio device.
Oh, yeah, now they can hear you.
All right.
Jason, you're just talking shit. You're trying to troll me?
Who?
Jason said no.
All
Miss
right.
D said yes. I trust Miss D. She said it's faint, though.
All right, Brandon. This is incredibly important. All right.
Yeah, architecture.
But what they're trying to achieve with architecture, Brandon.
Yeah, making it beautiful.
What they were doing is called modernist. That is from the Russian, or the Bauhaus school. So they're trying to strip every human, thing out of buildings. If you notice buildings,
We mean every human thing, like everything that makes it unique?
No, everything that is human or natural or organic. If you see beautiful, buildings like the Capitol building, you have organic shapes, you have decoration, and you have things that make the building look great. All right.
Yeah.
Because
it's aesthetically pleasing.
No, it's more than that. It's worshiping nature and God when you build a building. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to make everyone equal, they strip everything.
Right.
If you see like the CIA building, all these new buildings, they strip everything because they want to make you feel equal and uncomfortable. All right. And the other thing, it deletes the legacy of societies, Brandon.
Right.
All right, because the first buildings that we saw, and the other thing that they need to bring back, if you can look it up to show it there,
Mm-hmm.
is the only American architectural style that is Art Nouveau or Art Deco.
Art Deco.
Yeah. I give you a great example of that. The Empire State Building. That's a great example of Art Deco architecture.
Are you looking at the screen right now?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I pulled up some. I typed in Art Deco, and yeah, these buildings do look sick.
That's the only example of actual American architecture. It's an architectural movement that was born in America. Same with the Central Station building. You already talked about it.
Right.
And we need to go back to that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I guess the only question would be like, is it more difficult to build things like that now because of the lack of emphasis that we put on things like that? But I don't think so. It's just a matter of like, there are some really nice buildings, but they're not built with stone like that. They're built like, actual skyscrapers. I mean, is it more of a political thing, or is it more of a capability thing, or like a feasibility thing?
Well, Brandon, it's a political statement. We're trying to build everything as cheap as possible. We're trying to build something, use it for a little bit, destroy it. And all these leftists, they never think about the future, or they never think about what you're gonna leave behind. Like these guys, Brandon, they wouldn't steal money at the level that they steal. They wouldn't destroy our society at the level that they destroy our society if they were trying to leave something behind for future generations. Am I wrong?
No, 100%.
All right. So it's a political statement that it shows everywhere. Like all the government waste, all the policies, guys being women, women being men, and buildings that they are going to be used and demolished. You're not leaving anything behind for the next generation.
Right. Yeah, no, because I mean, what's the exact quote? I'll look it up quick, but Thomas Jefferson said something like, "If you want your society, or if you want the culture of your nation to live on, then you have to build things that they're not only proud of, but that could be recognized." Because I don't know, like, is the Kremlin a fairly new building? Like, because I was gonna say during Soviet Union times, I mean, how many recognizable buildings did they have? Or like same thing during the Maoist times, how many buildings did you have, like, where you could show somebody, they're like, oh yeah, that's the so and so building where we do this building's for that. Like, that's probably one of those subconscious things that's like a much bigger deal than people make it out to be.
If I'm not mistaken, the Kremlin, Brandon,
Hmm.
it predates the Soviet Union by hundreds of years.
Are you sure about that?
100%.
Let's see, I'm gonna type that in.
All right.
When
It
was
must have
the
been built in like 14 something.
All right, I have a bunch of dates here. Let's see, I'll share the screen.
The Kremlin, Brandon, it used to be a palace. Like it goes against every rule of Soviet architecture.
Okay.
When was it built, Brandon? I just want to know, be right on camera.
The what?
Um,
Why do I hear a buzzing, by the way? It said 1485 through 1516.
See, when was the Russian Revolution, Brandon?
1917.
All right, it's not even close.
I know. Yeah, yeah.
And
Wow, it looks new as fuck though. It's
well,
crazy.
because it's been well kept. Because when you build a beautiful building that shows your culture,
I'm surprised they didn't destroy it.
oh, they couldn't. It was way too important historically. You need to understand that the Russian communist movement, that I don't really want to get into the details, the brute force of the people that were behind it, they were nationalists of some kind.
Hmm.
So it's different than now that we have all these communists that are globalist. They still did have some national pride and national unity in the country, so they wouldn't stand for them destroying such a beautiful building.
Like, look at this. So you type in Soviet architecture, and this is the type of shit that comes up. Like, just bleh. Like, it all looks exactly the freaking same. But it's like the equivalent of everybody wearing a mask, or like, not just like a sick mask, but like a full on ski mask, and being forced to walk around like we're like the face, like the people see on you is completely the same as somebody else's face. So it's like you take away like the neat uniqueness out of things and like the beauty out of things by doing this.
Oh, Brandon, you can even look up, and this is very common on EU buildings and UN buildings. especially in Europe and more liberal cities,
Mm-hmm.
there's a whole trend of globalist, architecture.
You mean globalist architecture?
There is globalist architecture, very heavy on glass, very geometric. It's the opposite of what Western tradition dictates for a building.
Globalist architecture.
Yeah.
So this is like the New York skyscrapers and stuff.
Well, the more modern ones, everything built after 1970.
So globalist architecture has resulted in sameness around the world. Architecture is an important part of our national identity. It is the built representation of people, their heritage, culture, and traditions. Reverse the local. Oh wait, you guys don't even see what I'm seeing right now. Shoot. So here we go. Whenever I open a new page, it takes me out of the screen share. So yeah, from this tweet here, globalist architecture has resulted in the sameness around the world. Architecture is an important part of our national identity. It is the built representation of a people, their heritage, culture, and traditions. Reverse the local, reject the global. So yeah, here we go. Germany, China, Switzerland, Italy, France, Netherlands, Saudi Arabia, Russia, Indonesia, Japan, Nigeria, UK. All pretty similar looking buildings. And yeah, they do have that kind of blank look to it. Like it's like a sneaky way to do the Soviet Union thing. Like the Soviet Union ones were just like objectively ugly and all looked exactly the same. These ones, like they're nice looking in a certain way. They're slick, they're shiny, whatever. But yeah, there's just like something that you like feel a certain different type of way when you see stuff like the Capitol building or the Lincoln Monument.
That's where we're getting at, and I think this. And I'm glad you covered this, Brandon, because this
important stuff.
But
I have an architect's eye.
No, but it might be one of the most overseen decrees, or executive orders that he signed. But this is the one that has the most tangible impact in the future. All right. And the picture you're showing, you can see that any of those buildings, they could be plugged out of the earth and put somewhere else, and you don't know where they're from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you take the Lincoln Monument and you put it in China, it will look out of place. If you took the Red Palace of China and you put it in the middle of Washington, it'd be out of place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So I don't know. I'm very on board with this. I think it's very important.
Let's see. I'm gonna type in, are we capable of rebuilding the Capitol building today? Yes, the U.S. Capitol can be rebuilt. The architect of the U.S. Capitol is completed, and it's currently working on many projects. When was the Capitol building built? Is this pretty recent? Like, what's an example of a building that like we might have a difficult time reproducing today? Like maybe certain churches.
I think we have the capability to rebuild almost everything except the pyramids.
I don't think that's true.
Well, I mean,
I've heard all this stuff about people like we're not able to.
There's some techniques that have been lost to time. Some arc technology to making beautiful arcs. They still can't figure out how Romans made concrete.
Right.
They still can't figure that out. It's still standing right now, Brandon. Like if you've ever been to Italy and you saw the aqueducts of Rome, it's something absolutely amazing. And this not only has to do with culture and it also has a little bit to do with religion.
Oh yeah, no, it's like a spiritual thing. Like you, like no matter how like this, no matter the size of a building, you like totally feel different based off like the layout of a building. Like there's, like for example, if I go into a hotel and there's a carpet on the floor in the hallway and it's like a narrow hallway, like I have like a nasty, icky, like kind of creeped out feeling. But if it's like a big, kind of wide, nice tile floor, shiny, it's like a whole different vibe.
It is.
You know what I mean?
It is. And that's a human element that I'm telling you, Brandon.
Yeah.
That they build spaces that are not fit for humans. They build spaces that have no natural access to the outside. All right.
Right.
You have this massive office buildings that the only entrance of exit exit of fresh air is just the bottom floor, Brandon.
Right.
So how is that designed with humans in mind? Is they want to keep you inside, they want to keep you on their air conditioner,
Mhm.
they don't want you to get any sunlight, they don't want you to be comfortable in a place to stay there long, to take pride on the building that you're living. I don't know if we want to introduce your audience to liminal spaces, because I think that's what you were talking about.
I don't know if you guys could handle liminal spaces. Who knows about liminal spaces? I don't want to creep everybody out so close to bedtime.
I know they probably won't sleep after this.
You guys want to know about liminal spaces?